Salvete omnes, salvete amici, nomen mihi est Decimus Aurelius Ingeniarius. Hello, good day, good evening, wherever you're watching watching us from in the world. You are watching the Nova Roma Twitch channel, and we are here with session 12 of the Republic of Rome board game broadcast. It's been a fascinating couple of sessions so far over the last couple of weeks. We're now at what we call Turn 9 Senate phase, and we've done some background administration in the back end after we noticed a couple of errors. For example, for some reason, we decided to switch some wars around, the Sicilian slave revolts. So we've re-corrected those. So one's active and one is imminent at the moment. We also found an illegal card play in the last revolution phase, which was Senator 1 Bravo, which was put down. And that was illegal because we've already got Senator 1 Alpha on the board in another faction. So that returned to the hand of Marcowedia, and that has since been corrected. So we are back on track. So we're about to start the Senate phase this evening, and we're looking forward to seeing what's going to happen. There's obviously a few active wars on the board, so let's not delay any further. Let's go across and transition now and head across to our virtual tabletop. So if you're watching live, stay tuned. Don't go. All right, we are now back at our virtual tabletop, brought to us by Tabletop Simulator. And let's do a bit of a sound check. Senators, give us a salvete.
Salvete.
All right, we are very good. You guys know how this runs. The highest ranking available official right now is our dictator and Marcowedia. So Marcowedia, over to you to elect our new consuls.
Okay, so I'm just having a look through. When you were mentioning that the elder senators obviously cannot go to war.
That's
but
correct.
If we elect a dictator and master of horse, we can still have elder senators.
Yeah, so
correct?
So elder senators can certainly still be consuls. That's not a problem. But right, they can't leave Rome, and perhaps this is a way to get round the rule about the order in which you send consuls to war and/or dictators. Right. So let's say you have a field consul and a Rome consul. If your field consul is Eldor, obviously he can't leave Rome. So therefore, your Rome consul would then be eligible to be sent to war first, which is a very interesting loophole, which I only just thought about. So yes, but there are some of the mechanics around the elder senator rule there. Yep, they can be elected, they just can't leave Rome.
Okay. Cool. Good to know. Okay. I'm just looking because basically it's still kind of tracking backwards from, if we end up with a dictator.
Right. I like how you're thinking ahead. That's good.
Is it actually possible? Because isn't it 4 or more active wars?
No, it's
specifically active.
It's 3 or more active wars.
3 or more? Okay.
Yep. Or a combined strength of 20 or more.
Yep.
Yeah, so I thought that would be what we'd probably do, unless anybody doesn't think that's a good idea. No? Everybody else is...
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah?
Let's clear
Double
the wars
checking.
out.
Okay. And where are we? Okay. Okay. So I'm going to put forward 2 nominees for Rome consuls. I'm going to put forward Cato the Elder from, where are we? Ingeniarius Aurelius. And I'm going to put forward, where are we? Quinticus from the Lunar faction. Oh, I've lost the nominee token. Cool.
Found it. There we go.
Cool. Thank you. Yep.
I just wanted to ask a quick question before we voted
Sure.
on this.
Yep.
Who are the potential dictator candidates?
That would be up for the consuls to decide.
I just meant as a general point of order. just curious as to who would be eligible,
Yes.
or we would be interested in.
I think everyone would be eligible.
No, elder senators cannot leave Rome. Oh,
Yeah,
So-
elders and people with elders, those that are already out of Rome, and
Yeah.
those with really high influence already.
True.
yep. So
that
basically, there would be from Quintus Octavius's faction. He has two options. He has Fabius, which probably has the higher military rating. There is Julius from Tiberius Cornelius. And
Kind of looks like about it.
possibly, question mark, maybe 16 over here on, oh God, what's his name? It's all covered up.
Flaminius.
Flaminius. Flaminius in my faction.
Probably a little high on the influence scale.
Oh, good. That answers my question.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, can I call for votes from Numerius Aurelius,
It may
please?
also be valid not to get a dictator if it's not beneficial for Rome to press someone's influence at this stage. The wars aren't particularly threatening; they're just numerous.
I just put 16 in favour, but noted to the comment. Marcus.
I'll call for votes from Marcus Decimus.
Oh, sorry, is Marco talking? I might just need to disconnect and come back.
Good spot. Time for a reconnect.
Hello, can you hear me though?
I've got you.
I
Yep.
can
Yeah,
hear
okay.
you.
But even if we're not having a dictator, we're still in the position, obviously, of often sending people with high military ratings anyway.
Well, I mean, my personal contention is that we certainly need to send one with, kind of 5 wars on the board, even if they're not all active, plus the 5 unrest. I'm a pragmatist. We should cut these down and solve our problems, not delay.
Can we fight more than one then if we have a dictator?
I think we have to fight more than one.
Absolutely, that would be
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
what I'd be pushing for.
That's,
Not that I'd be the dictator, but I
And
will
I probably wouldn't
be
pick Galen.
diplomatic.
Marcus Decimus, are you back again?
Yes, I'm back.
Can we hear your votes?
I'll vote against the proposal.
Okay. Quintus Octavius.
I shall put my 5 in abstaining.
Okay. And Appius Rufius.
In favour.
Tiberius Cornelius.
18 against.
Ooh, it's pretty heavy. Is the general vibe of not to have a dictator then?
Oh, sorry,
Let's
are we,
finish the current proposal.
yeah,
It
are
could just
we?
be the people that are not lagged.
Yeah, this is just consoles, right?
Yeah, this is consoles.
Okay.
Okay. 20 in favor.
Vote failed.
Mhm.
So first proposal failed for the evening.
Where have we here? I'm going to put forward. Okay, I'm going to put forward Fabius and Manlius.
So Manlius is an illegal nominee because he's a current.
He's already
consul.
field console. Okay, am I still allowed to put forward the same person? Like Cato the Elder?
Yeah,
or
as long
not?
as it's a different combination, so that's fine. Yep,
Okay.
that is a valid proposal.
Okay, there we go. So we have Keta the Elder and we have Fabius. Can I hear from votes from Marcus Decimus first, please?
22 votes against.
Numerus Aurelius,
16 in favour.
Quintus Octavius,
5 against.
Appius Rufius,
2 against.
Tiberius Cornelius.
18 in favour.
Cool. I will put my 20 in favour.
Right, the vote passes.
All right. So there we go. So we've got our 2 new console elects. If they would now like to discuss who's going to be who in the zoo. And then the Dictator and Master of Horse can hand themselves back as well.
What's the whisper command again?
Just slash and then their colour.
And we've noted that the Dictator and the outgoing consoles have all received their prior console markers just previously. And I made sure of that, so everybody's got what they need from the green, which is good. All right, so the consoles are now having a private discussion at the moment about who's going to be the Rome console, who's going to be the fuel console. Generally, what we see historically is the consoles will agree. However, if they don't, then it can end up into a roll, where a roll determines the outcome. And obviously, some important decisions to come, and even potential consideration of a dictator as well. And if we, while we let them continue to talk, we can have a look at our cheat sheet to see what's going on. So we can see the election of the consoles through the Senate phase first. We've already got a pontifex, so they'll skip over that next step, and then they'll consider the appointment of a dictator. We're already established that we meet the prerequisites for that. Now, the dictator that they do choose can't have any current office, so that's any purple token, except for censor. So the current censor is also an eligible candidate for dictator as well, under the assumption, right, that they obviously can't be elected as censor when that point comes around, which we missed obviously last turn, so we're definitely not going to miss it this time. All right. Deep, hearty conversation happening between our new consoles. We've got some, tough decisions coming up today with the 3 active wars on the boards. And obviously the Senate is quite aware of the rising unrest level as well, partly due to a lot of droughts that have actually popped up accompanying some of those wars on the board. Still a lot of consideration happening.
I was just going to say, I believe we are in agreement with the who's who for the consoles.
Oh, very good. Let's hear an announcement.
Quintus, I just wanted to... You happy
yeah.
with... Yep.
Yep. Right, I got this since...
Yep.
Yep.
Mhm.
Right, I'd like to formally introduce the lovely Cato the Elder as our Rome console.
Hey,
Hey.
welcome.
Lots of
Welcome.
experience.
Thank you very much. He's very old from all the experience.
All
He said
right.
he's not even an elder.
Yeah.
He looks old.
Cato the
He's
Elder,
old,
the younger.
he's old in spirit.
Okay, don't forget to add your new 5 influence, gentlemen, to your senators now that you've been awarded your
Yes.
officers. And we've placed your respective faction markers out on the centre podium, which is very good, to let us know what's going on. All right, and now subsequently, perhaps temporarily, Numerius Aurelius will lead the way with Porcius Catus the Elder as the highest ranking available official and current take the Fuscus of the session for the moment.
All right. Thank you very much, everyone. I think that we should have a discussion over a dictator at the moment. So I guess I just would like to hear if everyone's just general opinions before we move to appointing one, what they think about the current situation with the wars. Do you think it's necessary? Just as a general, I guess I'll put my position forward first, which is that with kind of 5 wars on the board, I think we should be trying to clear 2 this turn.
Yeah, I think
I think a dictator's important, and that should be the route we go down. So I guess if anyone has any dissenting opinions, then let us know.
Sure, I'll put forward a dissenting opinion on it. I think we've got numerous wars, not strong wars. The only benefit that a dictator I can see brings is the fact that we could prosecute 3, or if we were worried with prosecuting 2 with our 2 consoles. And considering the military might that we currently have and are currently paying for, I don't know if that is a requirement. And of course, the political influence that a dictator brings to Rome. I'm not sure if it's
Can
necessary.
we start putting it into the calculator? Is it already up?
We don't know who the dictator is, so
we can at least get a sense, though, of if
take a guess. You know what I
if
mean?
Fabius was to be
Mainly they're 4s.
I
taking.
just want to jump in here. It looks like that Mark Wedia can't hear Tiberius Cornelius. Mark, if you wanted to rejoin the ninja.
I am
I
curious
think-
though.
I just,
Oh, yeah. You
sorry,
go
I was
first.
just going to say it's just worth noting that Cato the Elder has a military rating of 1, so
Yeah.
not very good if we want to try and fight 2 wars with.
But I think
these two.
we've got a military strength of like 29.
It's 29, I believe. Though you also got to consider the fact too that I don't know why we would prosecute the Gaelic War when we should probably do the Sicilian slave.
Yeah, I think the drought is clearly one of the 2, and then it'll be
probably the Jurgenthine War due to the age.
Yep, that was my thoughts as well. My fellow consul.
Good teamwork.
Yes. We've been brainstorming in the forum all afternoon.
Yeah, absolutely.
So my dissenting opinion would be then with a combined military strength of 15 for two of the wars and our current land strength of 29, I don't think the military strength of a dictator is necessary.
Is there any other dissenting opinions here I should hear before I voice my response?
I concur with his opinion.
Well, let's just work it out, though. So if we look at sending, for example, the field consul to fight the Jurgenthine War, which gives us 14, 13, and we send 14 or 15 maybe legions. How much does that leave us? That leaves us 14 for the other fight, does it?
Yes.
That is correct.
Maths. And that would look like They're both pretty good odds.
They'll both have 80.
Yeah, both
They're
in
both
the
actually
80s.
83, I believe.
And we've got enough fleet support to send enough for both if we were to fail one.
Plenty of fleet support. In fact, we could probably
Okay.
demob some fleets.
Okay.
Here.
Could dismantle our fleet, yeah. Don't need
Yeah,
that
our
much.
only issue would be if we rolled a 3 or one of the disaster numbers, which we end up losing no forces or we lose a considerable chunk.
But I think we worked out what like triple snake eyes is. It's like
Yeah,
1.1%,
impossible.
0.8% chance. I do remember it being quite low.
So is there any possibility if we have a dictator of doing a 3-war strategy here?
That would be possible.
Can
That's where I think.
Could we activate the Sicilian slave result, or is that activated on its own terms?
I guess it's point of order. Decimus, could we fight the imminent war? Oh no.
You can't fight the imminent war, but you can choose to fight the first Sicilian pirates in the inactive war.
Don't we have to win a fleet action first?
Yeah, it looks a bit tough.
Actually, yeah. With those pirates in the wings, that might be the one discussion not to dismantle fleets yet.
So I guess just as a calculation, would we have enough for the 3-war strategy with the
I think
with the dictator?
we might need to recruit some fleets if we wanted to activate the Sicilian pirates and fight them as well. But I think we
I
probably
don't
should.
think we have. We could.
You're on mute, Appius
We-
Rufius.
We would be low on money.
Sorry. If you would send the dictator with the fleet, we would have enough strength in order to prosecute this Cilician pirates with all our fleets.
I guess Quinticus, are you in agreement for a dictator then? If I offer to elect one,
So
appoint one?
I was just looking. Roughly, we can assume a dictator and master of horse would be approximately 6, correct?
Yep.
And if we just go, say, fleet strength 10, because that meets that. So, what do we got? 8. That's roughly what our numbers would look like for the Sicilian pirates.
And then we still have enough to prosecute another.
So we would have
but we
enough
still
to
need to
prosecute
recruit.
the 3.
We still need to recruit a couple of extra fleets, wouldn't we?
Oh yeah,
No.
if we wanted to be safe, yes.
How many?
Just to have some spares, but we don't need to, no.
we would have
Okay.
enough in order to fulfill all the requirements.
Yeah,
Well,
we have
I
2
believe
extra.
we should appoint a dictator. So I guess it's up to you, Quinticus, if you agree with me.
Yeah, I'm in agreement, and on the person in agreement, yeah.
I guess Julius from Tiberius Cornelius' faction would be my selection.
Yep.
Okay, we are in agreement then.
Julius would be honoured.
It's a fitting name.
He's gone
Right.
crazy.
Yeah.
Man of Destiny.
There we go.
Please don't
So
need
we've
this
seen the appointment of a dictator, Julius from Tiberius Cornelius's Corona faction. So he will now take the Fuscus. Thank you, Tiberius Aurelius. And of course, what is the first duty of a dictator to do every time they are newly appointed?
Master of horse.
Aye, points to Marta Coedia. So who shall Julius pick as his master of horse?
For a second, I thought you were going to say change the constitution so he stays in power.
I would still appoint Quinticus of House Luna and give House Luna a chance to redeem its putrid reputation.
All right, 3 influence there for you, Appius Rufius. There we go. That'll be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Well done. Fantastic. All right, and you may continue with your Senate session there now, Dictator. Very good.
All right, I'll just need to be handheld through this. So what's next, Sensor?
Go have a look at that little cheat sheet on the right-hand side. In particular, we're very keen to do this correctly, which we didn't do our last Senate session. So,
Okay. So what's Censor worth as a what's a boost influenced by?
it gives 3 influence to censor.
3.
Okay. And prior console markers are essential, aren't they?
Prior console markers are essential, correct.
Okay, well, I might start by
Papirius is
nominating.
also happy to put his hand up for the job.
Well, it's interesting you say that because I might start by nominating Papyrus.
Excellent.
And I'll hear from you first, Marco, please.
20 votes in favour.
And over to you, please, Marcus.
22 votes against.
And over to you, Namiris, please.
16 in favour.
Thank you. Quintus next.
I shall abstain.
Thank you. Luna next. Over to you,
In
Happy.
favor.
And I shall vote in favour.
Oh, that was pretty clean.
That's what you get with me. Clean by the numbers.
All right, so the censor is not going to move very far. Now I'm going to go, who say Papirius, was it? So
Yep.
Papirius gets another couple of influence there now.
3.
Actually, I incorrectly said 3. It's actually 5 if you look at the token. My apologies.
No worries.
There we go. So the censor will stay as is for the time being. Very good. All right.
And it's over to you, Marco, for any prosecutions that you might want to bring about.
Just checking in. Do you know what I mean? Everybody has been in order, and I feel that Rome is fairly balanced at the moment, so there will be no prosecutions. If everybody can please remove their corruption markers.
There we go.
Everyone is equally corrupt, so we're all safe.
Right.
All right. I can hear all the corruptions being removed. Now, hang on to your returned governor tokens for those that have just got back, because that notifies the Senate that you only just returned from your governorship. But you can obviously remove the corruption portion, of course. For those that were corrupt governors, that is. So no, but we shouldn't see any corruption on the board at all anymore there now. Looking at you, Numerus Aurelius, you've got some ones to clear.
Thank you.
So I'm fully aware that prosecuting wars is the main focus of this particular Senate, but we might actually work through some administrative functions first of all and leave the war decisions till the back end. So do we start with governors, Jam?
Cool.
Is that the right start point? Cool.
Yes, I
anything
certainly
from
think
now.
that's correct. That's one of the last of the mandatory things to consider. So the censor is considered, there were no prosecutions, and we see the last one, step 6, yes, the election or recall of governors, certainly.
All right, so we might start with Cecilia, which is one of the jewels in Rome's crown. And I think on the basis of a wonderful session in control of the previous Senate, I will start by nominating Aemilius Paulus Macedonius, Senator number 19A, for Cecilia. And I might make this a dual nomination. I'll look
Give
as
me
well.
a sec then.
I'll
He's
also
got a
be
long
adding.
name.
I'll be adding Illyricum into this as well. And can leaders be sent? No.
Yes.
Yes. Well, I'll also nominate Furius, Senator number 8, from Marcus Decimus' faction. If you're ready, Scribe.
Could you just tell me where he was getting sent again?
Illyricum.
Illyricum. I am ready.
We'll start with your votes, please, Marcus.
22 votes against.
And around to you, please, Nemirius.
16 votes in favour. Thank you.
And Quintus, please.
I'll put my 5 votes abstaining.
And Appius.
Yeah, one moment. Okay, I vote 2 yay.
And I'll vote 18 in favour. And lucky last marker.
Ooh. I feel as though I will probably, he will probably be taking a holiday regardless, so it may well be Sicily.
All right.
It's good to have a positive mindset.
Very good. So we'll grab a out of office marker for one over here. So we're going to have Aurelius Macedonicus.
I forget, did we beat the Sicilian War?
We
did.
No.
No, I mean, was someone attacking it last time?
Yes.
They probably still are. Just telling it's under attack.
No.
Yeah.
The slave revolts, yep.
Yep, the slave revolts currently attacking.
Fabius was attacking, yes.
Okay. I was going to say, Mark, it looks like the trouble's been cleared, but you got a few rowdy slaves on your hands.
That one, and the other governor was furious. Probably a bit furious that he's being sent. Where's he going? Illyricum.
Dictator, I know now's not the time, but when we get a chance, I'd just like to discuss these medals in my zone.
All right.
I believe there's a proposal that might have to be done to release them. I'm not sure, but just at convenience.
All right. Well, I'll hear from you shortly.
They look lonely.
That's right. They do.
What do we do with the cards that are in the forum, Decimus?
All right. You just.
They'll
take them
go
up
out to the map.
belong.
Perfect.
All right, very good. We will now look to the remaining 2 governorships, Hispania Ulterior and Hispania Citerior. We might go with the due nomination again just for the point of efficiency here. Which is the worst of those?
Hispania Ulterior, I believe.
Yes. All right. Well, I'll send that young rapscallion from my own faction, Sempronius, number 25.
That was for which one?
To this one, Ulterior. And there's a lot of elders around, isn't there, which is making this tricky.
Now, for those that have just had senators leave Rome for a governorship, make sure you are detracting for your faction votes accordingly. So, Marta Coetti, you'll need to, I think it's -6 from your faction tally now.
Mm-hmm.
If you want, Terentius will take it up. Or
All right. Well, I always appreciate a game volunteer, so Terentius can be the other nominee. Thank you very much, Quintus.
Is it only 5 votes from Marcus' faction?
It's 6, a knight plus 5 oratory.
Oh, sorry, I see the counter. Yep.
Yep. That's from the disbanded legion.
Yep. Good.
But I like that you're thinking and checking. It's very good.
So, Scribe, when you're ready.
yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. Well, I'll put 18 in favour, and then we'll go around to you, please, Marco.
I am going to put my 14 votes in favour.
And over to you, please, Marcus.
I'll play 16 votes against.
And Numerus, please.
16 votes in favour.
And Quintus.
I put my 5 votes in favour.
And last of all, to you, please, Appius.
2 in favor.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
All right. So Sempronius went off to Ulterior. Very good. We need a Corona. And who was the other willing volunteer? That was Terentius?
Terentius ID 20.
Thank you. Nice. Put all these back here.
Now, over to you, Numerus, who wanted to raise a point of order on some medals.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly what the issue was here, so perhaps Decimus or whoever noted this last time. They couldn't be given out for a specific reason, and I cannot remember what it was.
Those ones could be given out. It was the fact that there was a third medal attached to it that could not be given out, I believe.
Okay. Yep.
And that also that senator died, I believe, too.
Yep. So I guess what was the question that we had to resolve with the third medal? Whether
it needed to pass a vote.
Okay. So I guess, Dictator, I would ask that perhaps we should hold a vote on that issue.
Look, yes, I'm happy for you to put forward a proposal on that.
Yep.
It's known as a minor proposal.
What does that mean?
It means it doesn't have, I guess, well, by convention, it doesn't have any impact on the game mechanics, for one.
Okay.
And it doesn't require the playing of a tribune to put forwards.
Okay. Well, I guess I shall just ask the Senate that we conduct a vote on the, I'm not sure the name of the remaining medal, but the remaining medal that needed to be voted on to be awarded to my senator, the C senator or faction, that we may see those returned to the families of the fallen soldiers.
Can anybody name the medal?
The Pawn of Sacrificial Bravery.
Yes. So I believe that was because my senator was governor, if I'm remembering correctly, sent out.
No.
No? Okay.
So the reasoning was you were getting sent off with no troops, practically, to fight a war to save the game, practically.
Oh, geez, that's pretty high stakes. So hopefully that sacrifice is recognised by the Senate. So so I'll just ask whether the Senate finds it suitable that that medal be awarded. So, Dictator, I guess I should leave it to you to call the votes. Yep. Thank you.
Okay, well, you can start by voting Numerus, please.
That's 16 votes for the proposal.
And we'll walk in a clockwise manner. So, Quintus, over to you.
I'll put my 5 votes in favour.
Appius, to you, please.
2 in favour.
18 in favour from me. Mark, are you?
Oh, wait, give me a sec. Need to update our votes.
Yes.
Vote tallies are updated if you recently lost senators to governorships.
Thank you very much for that point of order. 14 from me.
And only 2 from me.
Marker, over to you. Marker, can you hear?
14 votes in favour.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, thank you. And Marcus, last of all.
16 in favour.
All right. Thank you.
That definitely passes.
All right. Thank you very much, Senate. I'll just be back.
Just while Numerus is gone, Decimus, what's the point in the game where we institute land bills?
Whenever you like to put forward a proposal.
Okay. I just want to hear thoughts on, given the high unrest level, whether a land bill might be opportune. Does anybody have any strong views either in favour or against? if we win 3 wars, we knock that down.
Isn't the
That's right,
unrest
don't
going to die? Yeah.
The only concern would be the fact that we are bleeding a lot of money when it comes to the active forces.
Yeah.
Let's just have the Sicilian slave revolt will bring in no coin. The pirate war isn't going to bring in a lot of coin. So I guess the only concern would be adding a more kind of monetary burden onto the state would be my only point to raise.
Yeah, no, I think that's a valid point. And if we should not assume that fortunes will favour us, but if they do, then we'll take the unrest down to 2, and that's a manageable number, I think.
Agreed.
All right. On that basis, I don't propose any land bills today. Can I just get some guidance on any other administrative issues we need to work with here?
I guess I'd like to give out a priest if that suits the
Of course.
I guess I shall ask if any particular faction feels quite religious today.
I like having priests.
Okay.
Placius, I feel, might like to be blessed.
I'll tell you, I was just looking at his card, so that's probably an omen. So, Placius, be blessed and become a priest.
Thank you.
Thank you. Back to you, Dictator.
Thank you. Well, in that case, we might start to turn to planning of our strategy. So my overall view is that we will look to prosecute the Sicilian Slave Revolt, the Jugendline War, and the Sicilian Pirates. Bearing in mind the Sicilian Pirates, while easy to beat on the land, also requires a naval victory. And so therefore we need to think about the optimal use of commanders here.
Well, if we do it exactly how we had it set up previously, we did our voting, it was practically spot on of what we needed to do.
Right, so that suggests that we use the Master of Horse and Dictator on the Sicilian Pirates.
Yes.
To fight, first of all, a naval battle. And then following that, the land battle. So let's have a look at the calculator. So the commander's strength I have as 7.
Correct.
Yep.
And naval strength of 8. 18 and 15. Sorry, we have that already, don't we?
And that's the minimum.
Okay. So my proposition is as follows, that the Dictator, Julius, and the Master of Horse...
But just let me just rephrase that real quickly for you. If you go sent off, that ends our Senate, doesn't it?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you
We
for
need
that.
to go in reverse order. Yep.
All right, no problem. So I'll start with the Sicilian Slave Revolt. And actually, no, I'll start with the Jugendline War because we'll send the field consul. So let's crunch the numbers here.
Keep in mind we need more troops for the other war.
Yeah. Okay, well, my proposal is for the field consul, Senator Fabius, number 2, to take a force of 13 legions, and I'll use 13 standard legions.
Yep.
And
Fleets, I'm assuming.
Tell me again, what's the risk of sending only 2 fleets?
It's just if we fail, that we will no longer have enough to support.
And it'll become an unprosecuted war in
Yes.
that case.
If you don't get a victory, that is, yeah.
Yeah.
And so what's the fleet number that guarantees?
4. But that would also mean we would have to raise more.
Yeah, I don't really want to do that. So we'll send 2 fleets, 13 legions.
Mhm.
To prosecute the Jugentheim War. Is that a proposal that meets the requirements?
Yes.
All right. So we'll go for voting. We'll start with Marcus, please.
I'll place my 16 votes in favour.
Thank you. And clockwise round to Numeris.
20 votes in favour.
And Quintus.
I put my 2 votes in favour.
Thank you. Lena, Appius.
2 in favour.
14 from me in favour. And it looks like Mark has already put in, so thank you. Motion's passed.
14 in favour.
Thank
Yes.
you very much.
First time I've seen a faction with nobody in Rome.
Yeah. I'll see you guys later. Have fun. I'm off. Got to do some business.
All right, so now we'll move our attention to the Sicilian slave revolt. So the commander strength only 1, isn't it?
Yes.
Was that proposal for 13 or 14 legions?
13.
Well, I'm counting 14 legions.
Well, someone's missed on their counting.
That was me.
I'll gladly take an extra one.
So what are we looking at here? So what strength do we have left?
We have a total of 16 strength left, including veterans.
Okay, so I'll send a strength of 12. So proposal is for the Rome Consul, Cato the Elder, Senator number 22, 8, to take a force of 4 veteran legions.
You best be winning this one.
And 4 standard legions to prosecute the Sicilian slave revolt with the fleet support of 1. Does that pass the muster, that proposal? That's all we need for the war, is it? Everybody sense check me?
As long as it names a commander and forces, that's end of war, that's good.
All right. So, Marcus, we'll start with you, please.
16 votes in favour.
Thank you. And Numeris, please.
20 votes in favour.
Scooping Quintus going to Appius.
Yeah, 2 in favour.
I'll have 14 in favour. And Marcus 14 in favour as well. Thanks,
14.
everybody.
I would just like to know my 0 votes are against because you skipped me.
Okay, well, noted.
It doesn't matter.
We love you. You're still important.
Just not important in any real way that actually counts.
Yeah.
Right,
These
make sure
things
you,
can be very important to people.
Now update your vote tallies there, Numerus Aurelius, now that you've lost a senator there to campaign. It's a huge hit for you. All right. What's next, Dictator?
I'm just crunching some numbers over here.
Okay.
Okay, so it looks like we have everything we need. So is 8 enough fleets to prosecute this war?
That is my question. Does it technically need support fleets, or does that
Yeah, so
only
do it.
count for land?
Do it.
Yeah, it would be required for then the land battle. So we would win the naval, and then for allow us to prosecute the land, we need at least 2 fleets surviving.
Correct.
Great.
Right. All right. I'm
So what
So
you're
if-
saying is we
confident
send
about
the
So if we looked at the worst possible winning state, which I believe is -4 legions, -4 fleets, that would allow us to go to the land battle with at least 4 fleets, which would allow us to support the 0 legions in their land battle. In the worst case scenario for a victory to go through.
Okay, thank you. That's really useful. Thanks, Marcus. So, the proposal is for the Dictator and Master of Horse to prosecute the Sicilian pirates using 8 fleets and 3 legions. I think that's sufficient for the motion, isn't it?
That is correct.
Okay, well, we'll go around the circle again. Marcus, please.
16 votes in favour of the proposal.
Numerus.
It's 11 votes in. Oops, sorry, I clicked the dice. 11 votes in favour of the proposal.
Quintus.
I'll put my 0 votes forward. Thank you.
Apis.
2 in favor.
Thank you. My 14's in favour. And Market.
Marcus Decimus, could I just ask what your votes were before you went away? Was it 20 total?
22.
Sorry, not Marcus Decimus, Numerus Aurelius.
Yes, that was minus. 1 second. I believe it was 9. Yep. So it was 16 normal votes down to 7.
16 total, including the +4?
No, it was 20 beforehand.
Okay, cool. That just makes it easier. So -9.
Yep. Perfect.
Okay, so I assume that brings our session to the end.
It does.
Before we move to that, Decimus, somehow my votes have overlapped and my normal votes have disappeared.
Oh, yeah. Just put it down first.
Ah,
Just
thank
got
you
like
very
a
much.
card. Just got to be quick with it.
I wasn't sure if it was deleted or what. No. Oh, thank you very much.
Stack them.
Just zipped away. Yeah.
Well, thank you, everybody, for a beautifully smooth Senate.
All right.
No, thank you,
Yeah,
Dictator.
that's the end of the Senate. Thank you.
Efficiency.
ourselves-
Efficiency.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was considering how much needed to be discussed and voted on, man. That was pretty tidy. So let's have a look at the field there, and they'll be prosecuted in order that they were voted on. So we're going to go from right to left, starting with the Jurgentine War through to the Sicilian Slave Revolt, number 2 of 3, and then popping out of the blue there, the first Sicilian Pirates, and hoping to knock them off the board. So Jurgentine is. It is what it is. We'll prosecute that. Then look at Sicilian Slave Revolt, which it already destroyed the Sicilian grain concession. And then obviously we won't have to have a provincial battle, provided the Senate, which they are, is attacking Sicilia here. And then the Sicilian pirates. We have Sicilia et Cyprus out there already, don't we? Which is good. Corsica at Sardinia is being attacked. I think we should just put that on the chart just for accuracy. Albeit, the Senate is prosecuting it, so good. We've highlighted that now as well. Now that it is active. All right. So now let's prepare ourselves for Jurgentine. So let's have somebody on the combat calculator here, and let's get this done up. So. Commander's rating is 4. That is correct. Legion fleet strength. So in this case, we're only concerned with the Legion land battle strength here, which is 13, and that count is correct. Wars are not nullified. So the war strength is 8. The DS is 14 and 13. There is no leader rating at the moment. And subsequently, there is going to be no leader, disaster, or standoff numbers. It's going to give us a die roll model of 9, which is quite a healthy addition. So we're now going to move ourselves up to the combat results table here, ready for the outcome. Now, who is my commander for this war?
That would be me.
That would be me, he says. Very good.
Yes,
I'm also
Quintus
getting
Opinius.
other charts because I'm hoping we're going to see lots of victories here.
Shall we have a prayer before we go?
It's his
I
eye,
just
Quintus
have a quick
Octavius.
I just have a curiosity thing. On the bottom of the Sicilian Pirates, I believe it is.
Yes.
Oh, no, sorry. Yeah, the Sicilian Pirates. It says Corsa et Sardinia, but the province that is under attack is Sardinia et Corsica.
Well,
Is that just backwards, or?
Oh, what happened there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm frozen. Hang on.
rewinding time. Oh god.
Uh-oh.
Please rewind time.
Did I hit a shortcut hit key? That's curious what happened there. We'll just give it a
well,
moment just to
looks like
give
all
it a
the wars
moment
are
to fix
back.
itself. Oh,
Yeah, I
boy.
think it refreshed.
Refreshed. Okay. Is everything where it should be?
I think
Yeah,
so.
So it was
Yeah.
asteroid strike for a second.
We're waiting.
That made me
I can-
very nervous.
I can see through time.
We appear
Okay,
to be good.
Yeah, we got Sicilia at Cyprus. So Sicilia is 1. Do we?
Cilicia at Cyprus. Cilicia at Cyprus is another.
Cyprus is
It's
another
another
province. So, yeah.
province. It's not the same as Corsica at Sardinia, right?
Yeah, Sicilia at Cyprus is another province. So if we defeat the first Sicilian province, Piracy will get another province. That's nice.
Nice.
That's,
Rome
Yeah, just looking at the
expands.
attack
Rome will
section
expand.
there.
I've just got to remember where that is on the map so I can unselect it correctly.
It'll be like over
I was
here,
just
right?
curious about the attack
Or is it a bit
section
further
because
across?
it's saying it attacks Corsica et Sardinia, but we have Sardinia et Corsica. Is that just backwards?
No, they're two different words.
Okay. So is it
So you've
technically
got
not
you've
under
got
attack?
Sicilia
What's
at Cyprus,
attacking it?
and you've got Corsica at Sardinia.
So what is attacking that one then?
So the pirates are attacking Corsica at Sardinia, but we get a brand new province if it's defeated.
Yeah, but he means because the words are different. So the
At the
Corsica
attacking.
at Sardinia, I think it's only an error. It's an oversight by the one who made this card, right?
No, I don't necessarily think it's an error. Yeah,
because
the-
the province is named on the card Sardinia at Corsica. So this is named Sardinia at Corsica,
Yeah,
and here it is named Corsica at Sardinia. I think
sure. Yeah,
it's only, but it is this
Minor.
one, Sardinia at Corsica.
Okay, it is the
province.
same thing. Not
yeah,
confusing?
same thing. Yeah, it's just
Okay,
that
I just wanted to make sure
over
it wasn't saying we are getting under attack on a province that we weren't actually getting under attack on.
no. That's minor typo. I guess we can
Cool.
consider that as.
Well,
All right.
Can we pass to Namiris for a prayer, please?
Yes, definitely.
Perfect. All right. Give me just 1 second. Okay. I've got this one written down. That's how serious I've taken this.
Nothing but the most Maximus of all pontifices.
No, exactly. All right. Mars, our most bountiful God, we are your faithful servants. We have come to you many times, and you have blessed us many times. Today we come to you thrice and ask for 3 times the blessings as usual, 3 times the luck. Please, Mars, grant us your strength that Rome may cleanse our enemies with your gracious warfare. Let our legions strike true, our fleets sail straight, and may all our members return home safely. Thank you.
Huzzah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Nice job.
And now we shall sacrifice 1,000,000 gold.
Chickens with the norm.
1,000,000 chickens, no goats.
Yes, there you go. All right, I am now looking at the combat results table, and now if I could have the commander for the Argentine War, we're going to take that die roll and going to add 9 to that, which is pretty healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see how we go. At your leisure, 3d6, please, commander.
Cleared.
10.
10 plus 9. I think that's pretty healthy.
Yeah,
Yep,
no
and
danger
it's-
numbers,
it's-
correct?
Yep, it's
No
not
losses.
a danger number.
There we go.
Yeah,
3
good
no
point.
losses.
I'll have to
Not a
say,
danger
thank-
number, it's no losses.
thank
All
you,
right, so
Marcus.
we're going to step through this nice and slow as usual. First of all, let's lower that unrest level by 1, please, from 5 to 4. Great. Next from here, we don't need to draw any mortality chits, which is nice. Okay, first of all, the commander, would you like to pick one which becomes a veteran legion?
I would. Now,
Which
what's
one are you
very
thinking?
disappointing at the moment is I don't think I have 9.
No, the 9th Legion is not in this
Damn.
battle.
We'll go for 10 as we are officially going to be joining the 10th Senate phase soon.
I like it. Cool. All right, so make sure you grab yourself a loyalty marker and throw that on Fabius's card back in Rome. All right,
The might
that's
of
good.
Rome grows.
So from here, you get to increase your popularity and influence by 4 for each of those, if you'd like to do that for Fabius while you're there. So 4 influence and 4 popularity.
I think this is the first game I've been a part of that Rome's forces have crossed into the 30 range.
Yeah. In terms of total strength, right. And while that's occurring, perhaps if who would like to add 25 talents to the state treasury?
Already.
Well done.
I've
Thank you,
already added it.
Abius. Fantastic.
So fast.
Soon we shall conquer the whole
That was
world.
nice and quick.
Marcus.
Somebody can delete the or remove the age marker there, and we can put the Argentine War into the discard pile.
Where as a question, where was the Argentines? Where were they from?
Africa.
Africa.
Okay.
They have been demolished by our superior forces. But Hannah will take that as a lesson.
All right,
Yeah.
so Fabius,
I-
you're
I bet
updated.
in
You had your
over
4
2,000
popularity and
years'
4
time,
influence.
nobody would know where the Argentines were.
Yeah, I added the popularity and influence.
Cool. All right, we're up to war number 2 now, folks. Sicilian slave revolt. This is will be good to get rid of because that'll help to remove a drought, which will help us out later. So let's go through and run our usual tally. So first of all, 1 for the commander's rating. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 in Legion strength, if my count is correct. Danger Noodle numbers are 7 and 15 for the war with a strength of 7. Good. And there are no enemy leaders for this one, which is great. All right. If there are no other prayers to occur at this point in time, I'm going to move my image to the combat results table. And the commander. Who's my commander for this one?
That is Merciful Cato the Elder.
Merciful
myself.
Cato the Elder. All right. We're looking for a 3d6. I'm going to add 6 to this roll this time.
Oh,
6.
6 is 12. Now, it's not a
Stalemate.
danger number. No. Good.
no.
But we're going to get a stalemate for this one.
Ooh.
So we're going to run through this slowly again. Make sure we tick the boxes that we need to tick. So first of all, in a stalemate, we are going to lose 1 legion and 1 fleet. So we can just remove the fleet there and put that straight back in the pool because there is only the 1 there. I can do that while I'm here. Now, we throw the legions, including the veterans, into the Determine Destroy Legions fleets box over on the right-hand side. I'm going to grab those. And the first one we pull out will be the one that is destroyed. And here we go. It is.
Oh,
Oh,
That was lucky. Well done. So we'll pop that back in there. Oh, I've put that in the wrong bag. Does somebody want to pull that out?
US talents.
I put that in the loyalty markers box.
What one was it? Do you remember the number?
Oh,
Did someone take it out already?
I got given a loyalty marker into my hand by someone.
Let's put that back. Okay. Did we discover where that Lost Legion went?
I don't think so.
It is indeed lost.
It's not in the bag. It's only veterans in the bag, so.
All right. So anyway, we've lost the Legion and we've lost the fleet there. So next from here.
And that becomes
Now we
unsupported,
still
right?
get one Legion from amongst the survivors gets to become a veteran. So Commander, who would you like to become the veteran?
Just give me a second to read number 9. Thank you.
Why is there an influence peddling inside the Legion's bag? That's weird.
You
There's
should have
actually there's like a
quite
bunch of
few
cards.
things.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
I think that's where people often place them because they're pull them out the forum.
And they just
Why
land into the bag.
is there a senator in there?
You have your
I'd say that-
veteran Legion
yeah,
now there, Commander.
Thank you very much.
All right,
My,
thank
dead
you. And you've got
senators
your
in there.
loyalty marker on the card back in Rome. Very good.
Okay.
Now we need to draw mortality chits. So let's go across to the mortality chit generator there. And Commander, you need to draw 2 of these. One for the Legion and one for the fleet.
Where's the bag? Sorry, it's on the left.
Far left-hand side, mortality box. Yep, that's it.
Yep.
Draw 2
So
of these
2.
out. Now, what's your number?
23.
23. So 3 and 12. You're safe. Let's pop those back in the bag. All right, so you survived the battle there.
Do we have to just
From
change
here,
the
you
rest?
now need to minus 1 popularity for every 2 legions you lost, rounded down. So in this case here, you've only lost 1 legion, so rounding down, you've lost 0 popularity from the way I understand that. Does everyone agree?
You lost 0 popularity, right?
You lost
So
0
did you-
popularity.
He didn't lose any popularity, right?
Yeah.
So, Cato, the player. So, Numerius, Aurelius, did you remove 1 popularity? You do not need to do this.
What do you mean?
If you removed 1 popularity.
No, I didn't remove any. I didn't lose any.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, now we need to. Now, where do we keep our pro-consul markers? There we go. There's our pro-consul marker. Nice. So he becomes a pro-consul now. He's going to stay there until signposted otherwise.
Can he stay there without fleet support because the fleet is gone?
That's
Or
actually a
what
great
happened?
point. I think because he doesn't have the fleet support, I think he might be forced to return to Rome. Is that correct?
Yeah, I have to look it up. But
Yeah, just quickly look it up. But that's a great point. Without the fleet support, you may be forced to return to Rome.
Who am I
Well,
sailing
it's
home
definitely
with?
considered unprosecuted because it doesn't have the fleet support. That's for sure.
Does anything happen with unrest?
No,
What's that,
'cause I
sorry?
think it's a stalemate. I think it's on defeats. We receive losses.
Yeah, this is only a stalemate. Yep. All right. While Appius Rufius is looking up the rule about whether Cato the Elder is forced to return to Rome, we know it'll make the war unprosecuted, but whether it forces to return him to Rome, it may only be if he's got no forces left, but we'll see. All right, let's start working on the first Sicilian pirates now. So here we have a commander's rating of 7, which includes the Master of Horse here. Legion and fleet strength, we've got 3 legions. But we notice we've got the naval battle to do first, so that's what we're going to concentrate on. So here it's going to be a, what do we say, 8 for us. 8 is our fleet
Yes.
strength. The enemy's fleet strength is 8, and the disaster standoff numbers are 18 and 15 on the raw roll. There is no enemy leader at the moment. It's going to give us a dice modifier of 7. So we're going to go up the combat results table. Who's my commander for this one?
It is Julius.
Aha. Hello there. All right. At your leisure, we're going to do 3d6, and I'm going to add 7 to that.
10.
10 plus 7 is 17.
Victory,
And there's no
1
danger
loss.
numbers there.
Yeah. So that will be 17 victory, loss of 1 legion, 1 fleet.
All right. So let's step through again. First of all, So let's lower the unrest level by 1. So from 4 to 3 because of our victory. Fantastic. Now let's add our naval victory marker, please. Great. Now we need to draw 2 mortality chits. We're looking for 4 or 18. Commander, Dictator, if you'd like to draw those. You don't want 4 or 18. None and 24. Very good. You can pop those back in the bag. So far they have survived. Now the war is not defeated yet, so let's pop the province to the side for the moment. Okay. Now, only in the land battle do we get a veteran legion, so that's not going to occur here.
Do we care about removing Pacific, which fleet and which legion we lost?
Let's put them in separate groups. So let's put the legions in first, and then let's see which legion. Hang on. Careful with those fleets. Let's put the legions. Okay, we're going to put the fleets first. All right, let's do the fleets first. That's fine. Pop them in. Grab the other fleets from the other side. Very good. All right. Let's pull the first one out. That one can go back to the pool. There you go. 7 go into the pool. Good. And the others can come back on the board. And once all the fleets are out, I'll pop the legions in.
Yep.
All right, we're good to go. And the legion we lose is this one. All right. And so the others can come back. All right. Okay. From here... So the commander gets to gain 4 popularity and 4 influence, which is the fleet strength victory. So for Julius, and Julius only, 4 influence and 4 popularity for you. Julius, Quinticus does not get to benefit from this.
All right, that's done.
Now, do you get the choice to fight the land battle in this round?
I thought we've already fought 3 of them. I was a bit confused. I'm like...
No, we have only just fought the naval battle for the first Sicilian pirates.
That's why we sent so many fleets.
Yeah.
But then do we fight it separately? I thought we always fought them at the same time.
Yeah, so it's 2 stages.
The notes that I have here, and I don't know how up to date, and I'd like to check the rules, but it says here, if the war card still has a land battle, the commander becomes a proconsul, provided he has legions remaining, which he does. That's suggesting to me that you don't have the option to fight. I thought you did. So can we check that in the rule book as well? Appius Rufus, did you get a follow-up on your previous research?
Yes, he stays proconsul. Only if at the end of the Senate phase there is no fleet support, it will be an automatic recall. But now he stays there in Sicilia as proconsul. Even though he has no fleet support, but only at the end of the next Senate phase. Then, if there's no fleet support, he would be automatically recalled.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, right. So he's staying there for now, right? But at the end of the next Senate phase. I'm with you. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Next one we're looking up is I don't know whether you guys were keen to, but we just want to make sure if you do want to, do you have the option to fight the land battle this same turn?
Just as a point, I guess, does it matter if we leave it really? Like just as if you don't fight it, there's not really much downside, right?
Correct.
So I found this point of order.
Okay.
Shall I?
Yes, please.
Okay. It's 1.10.12. Once the enemy fleets are defeated, any legions still present may, at the discretion of the commander, immediately attack the land strength of the war in the same combat phase, provided there are still sufficient fleets in the force to support the army and the commander was neither killed nor captured in the fleet battle.
So the other thing we need to take into note here is what's the rule about not being able to add your strength greater than the number of your legions or something?
Yeah. Your commander strength can only be as strong as the number of legions you're controlling.
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
So here...
This would mean 2 + 2, right?
Yes.
Right. So it'd be 4 strength for Rome. against 3.
Right. I wish we'd known that before.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Well, so he can't fight.
Well,
Or
yeah,
is
I mean,
it
you
still my
could.
choice? No. Well, I'm not going
He
to.
could fight, but is it a good? Let's see the.
Just do it for
what
the
our-
fun.
it's 20% chance of
Yeah,
victory.
No, it's not a good idea.
Oh,
just
it's
do
a
that one for now.
fabulous idea, guys. Come on.
All right. At the very least, it's considered prosecuted, so there's no penalty because you got the naval victory, which is good. So,
But they stay
you've
out
still
there
only
now,
got
correct?
3 wars on the board. So,
They all become proconsul?
That's a good question too.
yeah, so
Yeah.
they'll become, proconsuls until recalled, right?
Yes.
Now, I just want to double check the rule book. I think because Julius becomes proconsul, Quinticus will immediately return to Rome.
Wait. What did you say?
So we're talking about
proconsul?
because we're Julius and Quinticus still sitting
No,
on the
only a commander who survives a non-victorious battle. Or
Correct.
no, wait. Or who gains a naval victory but does not fight a land battle. Okay, no, you are correct.
So right, he becomes a proconsul.
So a commander who survives a non-victorious battle or who gains a naval victory but does not fight a land battle, despite the Senate having included at least 1 legion in his force,
Yep.
and is not captured, becomes a proconsul and remains in command of the force and away from Rome through the next combat phase.
Cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So,
Now,
you are
does that
correct.
mean his master of horse immediately returns to Rome?
Yes, because this is always the case, because Master of Force cannot stay. But let me see
Sure.
where this is written. I will look it up.
Excuse me.
So Julius will turn into a proconsul.
Yeah, if a dictator is made proconsul, his Master of Force must return to Rome.
So, sorry, somebody was sneezing into the microphone there.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, I
If
thought
a
I muted
dictator
myself.
is made proconsul, his Master of Force must return to Rome.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. So master of horse is going to return to Rome.
This
Okay.
would be a really
There
good
you go,
time to
Appius
march
Rufus.
on Rome, by the way.
So, guys, I'd like to declare. No.
yes, Cato with his 1 military to rebel. He's got a lot of veteran legions, so he's assured that the
it would
professionals
literally be
with him.
like the 300 movie, just like the elites holding the choke point.
It's one little like old guy in the back.
All right. So we've got a few proconsuls out there now. The only one we saw a total victory was Fabius. But in other words, we left ourselves with 3 or less, which was the critical thing that we wanted to do here. That's good. I think it's good. So let's just double check our cheat sheet, make sure we're on the right track. So combat phase. So we want to make sure that the provincial wars were all prosecuted correctly. So there was one that was not prosecuted, which is the Sicilian slave revolt, which attacked Sicilia. So what that means is there is now going to be a provincial war for Sicilia.
I think you'll be fine with 5
All right.
military.
Yep. So we're now going to execute another battle here. This is the way I'm interpreting it, and someone is I'm happy to accept challenges. But despite a combat occurring here by the Senate, it is now unprosecuted. So therefore, in this instance, the provincial war has to occur.
Shall I check it or what?
Yeah, let's check it. But I think that kind of makes sense. Our army could
Because-
no longer check theirs, so they're
It
now
says
free to.
Province is under attack by a war that was not prosecuted by the Senate, but it was prosecuted, right?
No.
Well,
it was, it was prosecuted.
Well, it's unprosecuted now, but it was prosecuted.
Yeah, a war was
becomes
fought,
unprosecuted.
but it is considered unprosecuted. But we need to be careful about nomenclature used here. But this is an interesting prompter. But nonetheless, let's check the advanced rules in the back of the book about prosecuted wars, and let's see what it says.
At provincial wars, right? 2.0.
Yeah, correct.
2.4. Whenever an active war appears, the names, provinces under attacks, those provinces are considered under attack if they exist and are loyal to Rome. All of these listed provinces lose all provincial spoils and all taxes. They may maintain the
No,
existing.
sounds like we're reading the wrong thing there. Let's head down to provincial wars under the advanced rules, which is going back up to, here we go. 2.02. Page 20 for those who've got a rulebook in front of them. That's the province considered under attack. Is this what you were just reading this, weren't you, Appius Rufus?
Correct, yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem.
So at the end of any combat phase, but before unprosecuted wars are moved to the unprosecuted war spaces, the first Roman-controlled province for each war must attack that war unless a Roman force sent by the Senate this turn has achieved a stalemate, standoff, or victory, which has occurred. So therefore, the provincial war does not have to occur here.
Okay.
There we go. Sorry for interrupting you, Appius Rufus. I was hearing something and I thought it was something else.
No problem.
Exactly, you're reading the right thing. All right, so the provincial doesn't need to occur here. Okay. But we would subsequently lose all the benefits going on there. All right, so that'll now draw the end to our combat phase. And we have no war exhaustion at the moment. There's no war 6 or older, which is good. And now we can move into the revolution phase. So here we go. Now we're in the revolution phase.
We don't age any wars yet.
No, that'll occur in the mortality phase, my good sir.
Roger.
All right, so intrigue. Now all players can freely trade cards from their hand. So if you'd like to have that discussion amongst your fellow factions now, please do so. Noting that at the end of the revolution phase, if you've got 5 or more, you have to discard.
Okay, so where are we up to?
The revolution phase. You
Okay.
can trade cards at this point in time or donate or whatever the case may be.
When it says 5 or more, it's saying 5 and you have to throw one, right?
Is that what I said?
You did say 5 or more.
I understand it to be more than 5 you have to discard. Yeah, more than 5 cards needs to discard.
So if you have 5 in your hand, it's fine. Right?
Okay, 5 in your hand is all right.
You later on draw more. Yeah.
I'll give it another 15 seconds for people to decide if they want to do any swaps or trades.
I
You do?
will.
Yep.
Just,
Right.
just give us a second, I guess.
You're right. We'll as soon as we complete the revolution phase, we'll take a quick break after this.
Can I just say a big thank you to those that are au fait with the rules for steering us through some complexity there. Good job, everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, always appreciate it.
Yes.
So I guess, do we have to publicly announce our trades?
Oh,
Is it
Not
You don't
necessarily,
have
but
to.
it helps see what's going on.
marker traded me a card? So just for public knowledge.
Is there
Thank you.
anyone who got the loyalty for the first legion? Because I had this veteran allegiance marker in my hand and I found it and returned it to the veteran allegiance back. Maybe the one who had the allegiance of the first legion.
Uh,
don't
The one
know.
who had the allegiance of the first legion died.
Okay. Then it may be mistakenly.
Yeah, I think at
Was it
some
my
stage
guy?
when we were frantically looking through the veteran legions, I also got one placed in my hand as well.
Yeah, I've got one
Oh,
there
it
currently.
seems I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah, for some reason there's a 6 veteran legion marker in Marker Weddy's hand too. So let's put that back.
I think I found the missing legion was in my hand.
Oh, good. Can you pop that in the legion bucket? Thank you. No, that you just popped it in the wrong bag.
Good times.
There we
There
go.
you go.
All right, now we're sorted. Okay, good. All right, are people still considering trades at the moment, are they?
No, it'll be good.
I think we're good to go.
All right, I think we should look to move on then. Okay, starting with our highest ranking available official, which is that who is in Rome. Each player may play any statesman and or concession. So who is my HRAO in Rome?
As
Technically me, since I need to return.
yeah, I don't think Fabius has had the opportunity to return to Rome yet.
I have
Or-
not.
Yeah, you've got to. It's got to be somebody in Rome.
Don't I return
Maybe
to
the
Rome?
censor, isn't it?
Don't
don't-
I? Doesn't
Not
Cato
yet.
return?
You've returned to
Not
Rome
yet.
yet?
Not
No?
yet.
Not yet? Okay.
You haven't returned to Rome yet.
Yeah,
according
Censor
to
is the highest
procedure.
currently.
Yeah.
It'll be
Censor,
censor.
right?
Actually, sorry, the away from Rome bit just leads me to a question. If you don't mind me asking this point of order, Decimus.
Yeah.
Just can you assassinate people away from Rome? I'm assuming
no.
not. Yeah.
You can only assassinate people in Rome.
Yeah, that's cool.
So far, is anybody want to raise me a censor? Who
Just a
can
point
raise
on my
me to be
mind.
higher than a censor?
There is no one higher. So
I think that's it. I think our censors are HRAO, correct?
correct.
All right. So starting with the Marcawedia at censor
Mhm.
as the
Yeah.
HRAO, you get to play any concessions or statesmen that you'd like at this point in time.
No, I cannot play anything
Right.
at this point in time.
Moving across, Marcus Decimus, anything from you?
No, nothing from me at this stage. Thank you.
Numerus Aurelius?
Just give me 2 seconds. A quick look at my cards. No, thank you.
That's a good call too, Appius Rufius. I saw you put the Master of Horseback.
Ah.
That's good.
That-
That's good. Well done.
That was me.
Yeah, he was it. I didn't do it.
Is that we need to sort of know that, don't we, for
Yeah.
future elections, right?
That was me.
Yeah. Numerus Aurelius is a no. Quintus Octavius.
No, I won't be playing any.
Appius Rufius.
Me neither.
And finally, Tiberius Cornelius.
None.
All right. Did anybody want to disband any legions as a part of that process?
There's nobody returning to Rome, is there, to do it?
One is.
Oh
Fabius.
yeah, from
Is that me?
Fabius.
Who's
Me.
Fabius? Fabius, did you want to disband your
yeah,
legion at all?
Yeah, Fabius is going to keep his legion.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, not a problem at all. Okay, and now we can ask the questions. Declaration of rebellions, etc.
All right.
And rolling for legions if you do want to do that anyway. So really, we're looking at Fabius at the moment.
All right, guys. So I'm going to be obviously returning to Rome.
Nice.
oh,
All right. Well, let's initiate that then. We can remove your away from Rome marker. Let's put all those
I get some
legions back in the
votes.
active forces box. Lovely. Is there any governors at this stage wanting to rebel? I should ask the question. Speak now, forever hold your legions. Nope. All right. So we just want to make sure that we indeed we're all good. We've only got 3 active wars at the moment, 1 imminent inbound. Everything else is on board. All right. Before we hit the mortality phase, let's go and take a quick break. For those watching live, it will be about 5 minutes, and our senators will be back shortly. Stick around, don't go away. We'll be back in 5 minutes' time. Cool. All right, we are back after a short little break there. So you are watching the Roman channel brought to you by Nova Roma. I'm Decimus Aurelius, the host of the Republic of Rome board game broadcast. We are back and we're about to start turn 10. Hooray, we've made it, senators. We've made it to turn 10 and back to phase 1, the mortality phase now. And we are going to do a little bit of administration as a part of this phase. So first of all, let us have Tiberius Cornelius and draw the 2 mortality chits that we're required to draw here to see if we age or see some natural death occur here. We're looking for 2. So we see 9 and we see 22. Anybody got any of those senators?
Cato is
is
officially an elder.
Cato is 22. And
Cato is 22. Cato the Elder is finally
Yeah,
becoming
he's the
an elder.
elder. He was. He should be the elder one right
He's
now.
double
I,
elder now. There we go.
Can
I
I,
have
elder.
Aurelius.
Elder
level 9.
squared.
as a
Over
point
here.
of as a point of
And
order,
Aurelius is becoming an elder too. Cool. All right. So we'll give him an elder token. There we go. So
Say,
2 elders out of that one.
as a point of order, may I get a text box that says the elder? So that I
The
can-
elder, the elder.
Yes.
we can.
Okay, I guess that
really
counts,
work
right?
on that.
That certainly works.
But what happens
we now
now
please-
since he is? What happens now since he is an elder, and now he stays away from Rome?
No, he's coming home automatically.
Yeah, he'll
so-
come home. He's a pro consul. He can stay out there by default, but he obviously can't be sent back out again later. Right?
I think we just call him Cato the Ancient.
Cato the double elder. Yeah.
I thought I automatically returned.
Can we please age all of our wars by 1, please? Just the ones in the active wars box. So we have age 1 for Sicilian, age 1 for the pirates, and age 3 for Gallic. All right. Good. So we have a look at our mortality phase here. Imminent war activation. We now bring our imminent war across. Sicilian slave revolt. Now going to add up as well. So now going to be plus each other. So 7, 8, 9, 10. So go war strength of 11, fighting the first Sicilian slave revolt now. So the imminent war has been brought across. Very good. And that will now conclude the mortality phase. Perfect. Okay, we now get to do our revenue phase. This is pretty good thanks to our calculator. So let's bring up our calculator box, ladies and gentlemen. Tools, revenue calculator. Appius Rufius, if you want to run the government one again, that would be great.
Okay.
Everyone else, do your thing. Make sure you select all of your concessions.
Alert.
We haven't selected the land bill yet. There we go. Now you can do it.
Do knights away from Rome get counted?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, 100%.
So our drought level is now at 3 or what?
What, sorry?
2.
What our drought level is at 3. Is this correct?
Yeah, how many
Or
droughts
what?
do we have? 1,
One,
2,
two,
3
three.
droughts.
You didn't have to move the card. I perfectly placed it.
Actually, we did because the second one does. Do they both create droughts, or is it?
Yes.
Both.
Okay,
yeah.
because well, one of the cards we had that was matching didn't create droughts, so I just wanted to see if it was.
So we've got 3 droughts. Yep.
Yep, cool.
3 droughts. How many legions do we have here? Right.
Too many.
Now, I'm just curious here. Do matching wars count towards your active war tally? I.e., do we have 4 active wars right now or 3?
Surely 4.
I think it's 4. Yeah, because they're separate wars. You got to fight. Yeah. So I think we have 4 active wars.
So for the 2 matching wars, does that mean you fight them jointly or one at a time?
No, you got to fight them one at a time in order.
Right.
And yes, their power does add to each other.
All right. So the first time when we fight the first Sicilian slave revolt, it has a power of 11, force of 11. But then when we beat it, it gets removed, and the second one only has 7. Is that correct?
Yes.
Thank you.
Now I'm curious, does the first one require fleet support since the other one does not?
First one doesn't.
Yeah,
But
so
they-
do we
they
still
stack,
need
so
a
the second one does.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. As far as I know, yeah. All the numbers stack.
All right.
All right. Just waiting on Tiberius Cornelius. Good. Let's just double check the things before we move on. So everybody has checked all their concessions and has selected those boxes. So far, I'm reading that now we don't have any advanced provinces, do we? We do Corsica et Sardinia.
Yeah.
Who's got Corsica et Sardinia?
Other provinces all correct because Sardinia and Corsica.
Tiberius Cornelius, you haven't selected your province.
Yeah. Province under attack won't get revenue.
True.
But it isn't attacked currently because we read this in the rules, right? That
Yes.
No, that's just for the provincial battle, but it remains under province attack, yeah?
So Cecilia would not technically get spoiled then too.
So right, in other
Which one
words,
is
we wouldn't select it in order for it not to be calculated. So anything that's under attack right now should not be selected.
But Sardinia at Corsica, Sardinia at Corsica isn't selected, but there is a governor out there.
Yeah, true.
now
That will
it's-
then generate it.
Is it
But
improved?
it's under attack, so it's not
improved.
going to.
Yeah.
It's not going to generate.
It's an improved province. Yeah, everyone has to click on the improved marker once it is approved. Yeah.
Even though, so why would we select it if it's going to be?
Yeah, no, we won't select provinces that are under attack because we're not generating anything from them. We can't do anything with them.
Okay.
Yeah, so we don't get the benefits of local taxes. We can't generate revenue. So in those cases, we're right. We won't select those two provinces. So Sicilia is out currently, and Corsica, Sardinia is out because the calculator, at least as I understand it, their Appius Rufus, the calculator would otherwise start generating revenue off that.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, everything else is selected. Illyricum is selected. Can only see one Hispania selected. Oh no, they're both selected. That's good. Hispania Coteria, Hispania Ulteria. I gotta make sure I look at the right things. And we've got the one Type 2 land bill out there. We've got 23 legions and 9 fleets being paid for, 4 active wars, 3 droughts, and a partridge in a pear tree.
Before we finish this, if I wanted to instead improve Hispania Ulteria, does that mean I can't?
So you already get an additional bonus to your automatic die roll by not being corrupt, or in other words, not taking spoils.
All right, I might do that.
So, yeah, the best way to improve the outcome of your province is to not be corrupted and not take spoils.
You would still select it because that's saying
Yeah.
that the state generates. You just don't hit the spoils tick.
Correct.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep. Well clarified. Right. Nobody's taking any graphs this time either. Okay, I think we're good to proceed. Let's hit generate revenue. There we are. Please read the details of your receipts to make sure you don't miss anything. Make sure you all update your governor markers as well, please. Oh, cool. Illyricum got improved. So the governor of Illyricum gets 3 influence, and it gets to flip the province to its green side.
Yay.
And then you'll get to spend the new local taxes.
Yay.
I can help that
I
there.
don't like the state.
Quick question, because we've got people in the forum. When we go to put things onto them, does it have to come from personally or the
Personal? You're talking about persuasion attempts there, and that'll be from a personal treasury. That's correct.
That's personal only. Okay, cool.
Okay, so has everyone updated their term dials? I did Illyricum's. I'll go to yours, Tiberius Cornelius.
Another quick question. Can you get knights if you're away?
I always thought it was somebody in Rome, but I'm happy for that to
I
be
believe
challenged.
we
You can
did
look
talk
up the rule
about
book.
this being in Rome.
Okay.
So what was the question again? Sorry.
Can senators that are away from Rome gain knights?
No, they cannot attract. You have to be in Rome in order to attract knights.
And that makes sense when you think about it. You know, you really can only influence in person. Knights being, you know, your personal posse of individuals supporting you.
All right,
did your governor get your 3 influence there, Marcus Deculus?
Yes.
Good. Your governor,
Does
lovely.
my governor get anything? No.
No, nobody else got a development, unfortunately.
No.
So remember, yes, you can freely move your talents between your faction treasuries or your personal treasuries, whether they're in or outside of Rome. That's not a problem. And when you're ready, make sure you tick your box. All right. So let's double check. All the governors' dials have been updated. So, yep, Hispanias are at 2. Corsica at Sardinia is at 3 now. Good. And Illyricum is at 2. Good. All right. Now, let's talk through the governors to see if they want to spend anything. Okay, first of all, with Illyricum, Marcus Decimus, you've got 15 to spend. Any additional comes from the personal treasury of the governor. What would you like to build?
I would like to build 2 land garrisons.
All right, so you're adding 5 from the personal treasury?
That is correct.
All right, so go ahead, grab yourself 2 provincials. Obviously, don't forget to deduct your 5 talents from the governor. Nice. And Illyricum will be able to hold a max of 10, which will be good. All right, let's go down. Now, we can't do anything with Sicilia, can't do anything with Sardinia, Corsica. Let's have a look what's going on in Hispania. Citerior, yep, he's going to spend 1. And going across to Hispania, Ulterior. Tiberius Cornelius, did you want to do 1? Yep, great.
Yeah,
So he
one.
does. Perfect.
Illyricum, the mighty bastion defending Rome.
All right, Marco, are you all done?
I think I'm all done. I was just looking it up at the things over there on the tables, but
All right, if you're done, tick your box when you're ready.
okay, yep.
Now, have we done the state treasury?
I have
Yes.
done the state treasury.
You've done the state
Ooh.
treasury? Good. So we're down to 103. So we lost 55 in that round. Very
Right.
costly.
Yeah. Not the best, guys.
We're starting to hemorrhage money.
And
You guys will need to think about that. All right. I think we're good to proceed. Oh, hang on, Mark Wedio. Just waiting for her ticket.
5, sorry.
You're right. Just wanted to make
Okay.
sure we don't
Yep.
lose it.
I was just
All right.
trying to calculate on it all.
Yeah, you're okay. All right. Now
I-
let's finish off what we need to do for our revenue phase there, which is really all about
Okay.
contributions. Now, who's our HRAO? Probably still the censor, isn't it?
No,
No,
it would
Fabius
be
has returned to
Fabius.
Rome.
Fabius has returned. Great. So for Fabius, still consul, would you like to contribute anything to the state treasury?
Uh,
No, but it looks like I'm seeing. Oh, yeah, 17.
yeah,
Yeah. No?
no, we won't.
I'm going to assume the answer is no from you, Appius Rufius.
No, I will not. Yeah.
Tiberius Cornelius, anything from any of your senators?
No.
And Mark Wedia, any donations to the state treasury?
Not today.
Okay. And across to Marcus Decimus, any donations to the state treasury?
Not today, thank you.
And Numerus Aurelius, anything to the state treasury?
Can you just give me 1 second if it's all right? on
Yeah,
that
yeah.
question?
Have a moment.
Sorry, give me 2 seconds.
Nice thinking music there.
I still haven't incorporated sound effects into this virtual tabletop yet.
Tiberius, can you just check your messages if that's all right? I just sent you a message. Just want to clarify something.
Death.
Yes, I will donate 10 talents.
10 talents to the state treasury. If somebody wants to update the state treasury for me, please. And who's that coming from?
That comes
I will
from
do this.
Cato.
Cato's donating 10.
Can he do that away from Rome?
Oh,
Great
Yes,
question.
you
We'll
can.
ask.
question
Ken?
Okay, cool.
Shall I
Any?
take the rules or what?
And that's 1 influence. Yep.
So, any non-rebel senator, even those not in Rome, may contribute money to the state treasury regardless of the level of the treasury, and so on and so forth.
Permissible.
Thank you very much.
All right. And subsequently, you get a little bit of influence for that as well, correct? Yeah.
Already adjusted.
1 influence. Nice. Perfect. All right. And we've done local forces. Debits are all worried about, and governors have reduced their dials as well. And we have no corrupt governors this round. Nobody took spoils, which is good. Noting the time that's now coming up on the East Coast, I'm suggesting that we'll probably call it an end to the session there, folks. What do we think?
Pretty
Good
neat.
to me.
Yes.
And then I'll get to bed on time.
Hey, yep, all right. So it sounds like that is definitely the way that we want to go. All right, well, that's very good. We'll now draw an end to, this is what, session 12 now, I think. End of session 12 at the end of turn 10's revenue phase. We'll commence with the exciting forum phase when we hopefully meet again next week, next Sunday evening Australian time. But otherwise, that for now. Well done again today to our senators. If you want to say a final farewell for session 12, Walete.
Well,
Walete.
Well,
Everybody else watching live, stick around. We'll be right back shortly with the end of session summary. Don't go away. All right, we are back for our end of session summary, the end of session 12. And we've finished up now. We finally hit turn 10, which is brilliant. I'm just trying to compare to how we traveled with this game, I guess, the last year, or the last time we held a big session of Republic of Rome board game broadcast. I think we made it to at least turn 11 or maybe even 12. We had about 15 sessions, I think, in the end there before we got succumbed under the pressures of war. These guys are starting to feel the pressure again here now. They had 3 on the war at the start of this session. They've still got 3. They actually introduced one themselves, but thankfully that one ended in a naval victory. But they didn't have the forces they needed to be able to prosecute that war in the land battle. And I guess we got hit by that rule, which enables you to not take advantage of your military rating unless you have the requisite number of legions there to accompany that. So, yeah, that was perhaps a bummer, but nonetheless, it was still a good outcome there. We didn't do so well on the Sicilian slave revolt. We had a bit of a stalemate there. Thankfully, no heavy losses, and we didn't lose a veteran legion too, which is nice. But otherwise, that war is still hanging around. And as a result, we've seen the imminent war come in now, and we now have a matching war. Thankfully, it's definitely not a Punic War situation, but nonetheless, it's nothing to smirk at. So they'll need to fight their way through that matching war set now to advance. And then that first Gallic War is still hanging around, strength 10 in the background now also unprosecuted. Look, it's been interesting to see the progress going forwards. We're now starting to see that treasury start to burn a little bit now. We've had 2 revenue phases in a row where we've had quite a hefty debt taken on by the state treasury. And particularly, most of that is coming from it's the active and unprosecuted wars, which is causing the most damage. The large forces themselves, yeah, it's the large force that costs a little bit, but in the end of the day, it's doing the good work. So the Senate will need to keep an eye on that. Am I surprised that not more factions made contributions to the state treasury? No. Should have they? Maybe. I guess a lot of people are still keeping a lot of their coin close to their chest. A lot of people perhaps banking a lot away still. Others looking to focus some of that money, that purse onto one individual. So that's certainly interesting to see. But we're right. Moving forwards, we're about to enter into the forum phase next session. 3 senators up for grabs there. So I guess based on the turn order that's already been determined through the last Senate phase just gone, starting with the HRAO moving around, that each of those individuals get an opportunity to bring in a senator into their faction. So I'm actually curious to see how much our senators are actually thinking ahead to that level, and whether they actually determined their vote and their outcome when they're electing consuls in that last Senate phase. Because sometimes it does. We do see some games where people are keen to add to their set of senators in their faction, so they'll vote in a particular way to make sure that they get that turn order that they need. So if they can't get that consularship themselves, at the very least, they're voting for the person next to them. But we'll see. we will see what goes ahead. Who knows? Maybe there's some deals in the back end where somebody agrees to not persuade a senator, but we'll leave that up for the senators and the factions themselves to decide going forwards. Well, I think that's about it for now. We will naturally do a review in the back end, make sure we've hit all the rules that we were supposed to, make sure we've done all the right things. And if you're watching this, down in the comments at the very bottom, you'll see any addendums where we've had to fix or update something based on our progress through and based on our experts in the back end. Scott and Alan Richborough, some of the rules experts that love to watch in on our games. They'll make sure they are keeping us on track, staying true and honest to the glory of the Roman Republic. Well, that will conclude it for now. I am Decimus Aurelius. You're watching the Roman Twitch channel brought to you by Nova Roma. It's been absolutely fantastic. I'm hoping to see you all again next week right here. And until next time, Walete.